Westbrook. Oh, yes. Don't do it, Bledsoe. Don't do it. Ibaka looking like the Long Ranger. Durant over Crawford. Bosh from the outside.
And just because he has been so consistent.
LeBron just looks so smooth at that size with that move.
Chalmers comes through. Here's Wade.
Hi, folks, and welcome to Game Time. Come closer. Closer. Vince Giannini alongside
Not
Brent
that
Barry.
close.
Not that close. On an 8-game Sunday in the NBA, and we're happy to be with you. And I know it's a little early to jockey for that #1 seed, but is it ever too early to have sort of a message game or a statement game if you're Miami and Oklahoma City?
It's never too early, Vince, for our league to hype up a matchup when you've got the star power of the Thunder against the Heat, which is what we had this evening.
Yeah, Chesapeake energy, and I think we're all looking forward to it, and it lived up to billing for a while anyway. Let's say we take a look at some of the highlights.
That sounds good, and there were plenty.
LeBron James, D. Wade, getting ready to take the floor, and Kevin Durant, a little more understated. Durant, feeding the big man. Kendrick Perkins for the dunk, getting him involved.
Well, Kevin Durant's first half, if there was some arguments about MVPs, you got a chance to watch the best two in the league in this game with LeBron James throwing that one down on the break.
Perkins is left alone. He had 8 in the first quarter and 16 in the game, so very active, and Durant helping him get that way. Meanwhile, Dwayne Wade driving, hits, and one, made the free throw. 13 at the half.
One of the very few times that Nick Collison does not get the charge call in his favor.
Nick Collison to a cutting James Harden with a lay-in and one. Harden 14 at the half. The Beard very active as usual. Then Durant. Perkins again.
And that's the third time we've seen it in the highlight, Vince. Kevin Durant with the ball in his hands, making the proper play and finding Perkins around the basket. He's really good around the hoop.
Yeah, he is. Off the LeBron miss, Harden, the Durant lays it up in. Miami get a little taste of their own medicine on that
Yeah,
play.
trying to get out in transition and score some easy baskets. Both of these teams decent in the half court, but Miami real tough. And Kevin Durant, I think that was from Austin, Texas.
18.
He went to the University of Texas.
At the half, yeah, very familiar.
Boom.
Westbrook to Durant. This is his house. He was going to do things his way. Off the Cephalosha miss, Serge Ibaka, rebound and putback.
And those are the kind of plays that every team shudders about because the athleticism of the Oklahoma City Thunder. And then Dwayne Wade giving somebody an H at the end of the third quarter from three-quarter court.
Unbelievable. He lets fly and doesn't touch anything but net.
Maybe that's an O, H-O for you.
Oh, we were playing horse.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's early. LeBron, little short jumper, Heat in transition. 93-85 Oklahoma City. Then good Thunder ball movement. Kendrick Perkins. He just lived around the hoop. And
great
Dwayne Wade taking exception.
Well, it was great interior passing. Perkins hung on the rim a little bit. Foot got caught up around Dwayne Wade's neck. No, nobody likes that, Vince, when there's a schnikey in your face.
No, ask Luis Scola.
Boom.
And then Kevin Durant just dropping that three. And that's about as excited and animated as he's going to get. The numbers did the talking in this one. 28 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists in the game as the Thunder moves to 37-12. And if you like this game, they'll be back together in 11 days. On April 4th, they'll play the next one in South Florida.
Yeah, and I like the way that the Oklahoma City team attacked this game. I do feel like when you have a regular season game as a former player, when you knew you were playing against the better teams in the league, you wanted to get up, you wanted to measure yourself up against what that team was going to bring to the table, and the star power in Oklahoma City, the Thunder responded.
Well, we showed you the highlights. Let's listen in. Kevin Sticks and Perk talking to Lisa Salters after the game.
Kevin, how are you guys, really since the end of the first quarter, able to dominate this game on both ends of the floor?
I think we did a good job of locking the paint up and forcing them to shoot contested shots. They're a really, really good team. They do a lot of great things, and I think we just play hard tonight.
What were you guys doing defensively that just was frustrating them so much?
Well, we were just trying to make them shoot jump shots. They're great in the paint. They can pass the ball once they get in the paint. So we just try to close that up and make them shoot jumpers.
Thank you and congratulations. Kendrick, you told me before the game that the players who were telling us that this game wasn't that important, they're lying. You said they're lying. What statement did you make with this game today? For you, a season-high 16 points. What statement did you guys make?
Well, you know, we just wanted to come out and play some good basketball. Like I told you before, you know, we lost 2 games to the Spurs, and I think this kind of set our tone or standards of who we are. I think we just came out and played with a lot of energy, and we always got to protect home court.
And speaking of statements, what statement did you personally make with that dunk and the sneaker to Dwayne Wade's face?
Well, I really wasn't trying to do it intentionally. He just happened to run up under me. But at the end of the day, I was just trying to set the tone. And like I say, be the big brother of the team and let the guys follow my lead. I knew how important this game was tonight, and I just wanted to set the tone early.
So, Bones, you talked about the possible MVP matchup in this game. These are 2 guys that we talk about all the time, but in this game, Kevin Durant outdid LeBron in every single category, including minutes played, 42-9 to 39-36.
Well, it seemed like, Vince, that Kevin Durant, in the beginning of the game, took a lot of life out of LeBron James and the way he was going to approach the game. It seemed like there was nothing they could do to slow down KD from the first quarter on. And we saw the numbers for Kevin, not only the points, but his rebounding, distributing the basketball with those 8 assists. As a team, Oklahoma City, 26 assists. I mean, that's phenomenal for that club to share the ball that much for a team that loves to isolate like Oklahoma City does. Did a great job of moving it around against the Heat.
I wish you had some video to further illustrate Kevin Durant's ability to score even against the likes of LeBron James.
Actually, Vince, we do. And in the first couple, you can see the way that Oklahoma City was doing a nice job earlier getting hits on LeBron. Bam, there's Ibaka at the top just getting a rub on Durant. And then at some point, Kevin Durant's just talent is going to take over. There he makes a crossover move, creates space from LeBron James. And then here LeBron goes for the steal. And anytime you're out of position with a scorer like Kevin Durant, he's going to try to capitalize on that, which he did with that friendly roll. So, again, some of Kevin Durant's early aggressive play on the offensive end, I think, took a toll on the way LeBron was going to approach the game because it felt like there was going to be no time they could shut him down. And then Oklahoma City got confidence in that, really played a fantastic game for Scott Brooks.
You have to see Kevin Durant in person to really realize how long he is. So I guess even when you don't think he's creating space, he does create space, and we saw that in ththose highlights and on offense. But what we don't give Kevin Sticks enough credit for is the fact that pretty good defender too.
Yeah, and this is the thing that I think every superstar player in our league makes the decision that they're going to play both ends of the floor and challenge themselves. Here you see Kevin Durant not getting moved at all off the block by LeBron James and getting the strip and then blocking Dwayne Wade using that length you were talking about, Vince. And then here, forcing LeBron to the baseline where he has one of the best help defenders in the league and Nick Collison on the back line of that Oklahoma City defense. So if you watch this game as a fan of either one of these teams, you love the way that Oklahoma City approached this game defensively. Everybody was in tune. Everybody was moving at pace on defense. When there was a ball movement with pass or penetration, all the guys were on a string and very much on the same page. And like I said, a very impressive performance by an Oklahoma City team that wanted to stack themselves up against the league's best, knowing they had lost to the Spurs, knowing that Scott Brooks probably challenged these guys to come out and have their best game of the season. And this was a very important win for this team.
This was a really solid win, 103-87, the final numbers. Was this somewhat of a blueprint revealed in beating Miami if you're Oklahoma City, because they got the inside scoring and then they got their stars to score?
Well, that's the one thing that Oklahoma City can't rely on, and we'll give credit to Kendrick Perkins for being in the right place at the right time and Kevin Durant finding him, but you're not going to get that type of offensive contribution from Kendrick Perkins, 16 points in this game every time out. So that's where you're scared about Oklahoma City because of their athleticism. They can create some other opportunities with Perkins, with Ibaka, with Collison's hustle down low where they can get extra possessions. That's where this team, I think, is just a little bit better in terms of what they can do in the playoffs against the good teams. Those extra 50-50 balls that they can get to, very important for Oklahoma City.
And Oklahoma City did all this with Russell Westbrook going 4 of 16 for only 13 points in this game. It snaps.
But let me say, that's good for Russell.